ASEAN-EU to foster economic ties. Vietnam's first exchange-traded fund launched. Hello, it's Ling Hương from Hanoi, and good to see you again on another episode of Bizline. As usual, we start with several headlines in the economic scene for the past week. Deputy Prime Minister cum Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh this week attended the 20th ministerial meeting in Brussels. The two-day event was co-hosted by Vietnam and the European Union for the first time. At the meeting, the ASEAN and EU blocs agreed that they would develop their ties into a strategic partnership. Regarding trade relations, both sides are committed to resuming negotiations for the ASEAN-EU Free Trade Agreement after 2015. ASEAN and the EU are important trade partners. Last year, their two-way trade turnover hit $242.6 billion. The European Union was further among the largest foreign investors, accounting for over one-fifth of all investments into ASEAN. Representatives of Aegis Group, the French Ministry of Economics, Finance and Sustainable Development, and the Vietnamese Ministry of Planning and Investment signed a contract on technical support for public-private partnerships, or PPP, in Vietnam on Tuesday. The $3.5 million contract is being funded by the Asian Development Bank and the French Agency for Development, with the aim of boosting public-private partnerships in infrastructure in Vietnam. This event is a part of Minister Delegate Flo Perren's visit to Vietnam. The public-private partnerships carried out by the Vietnamese government are expected to create new opportunities for French businesses in this field in the future. The Vietnamese government has approved a new development strategy for the auto industry to enable it to meet domestic demand and participate in world production chains. Vehicles defined in the strategy include trucks, cars with more than 10 seats, cars with up to 9 seats, and specialized vans. The master plan sets an output target of over 1.5 million vehicles and an export target of 90,000 cars by 2035. The production of environmentally friendly vehicles is encouraged. Furthermore, the auto support industry is expected to meet about 35% of the demand for domestic spare parts and accessories by 2020. It should then be able to satisfy more than 65% of local needs by 2035. The strategy underscores the need to boost linkages and cooperation among assemblers, enterprises in support industries, and research and training centers. All transactions and cash payments for exports and imports of goods and services must be conducted by bank transfers through authorized credit institutions. This is according to a new decree issued last week. The new decree will come into effect on September 5th. Accordingly, income in foreign currencies from exports must be transferred to foreign currency accounts opened at authorized banks. Exceptions must get approval from the State Bank of Vietnam. The decree also aims to ensure the liberalization of current account transactions so that both residents and non-residents are allowed to buy, transfer, and take foreign currencies abroad for payments and transactions. Nearly $700 million in FDI in the first half of 2014 was poured into the property sector, representing a 65% year-on-year increase. FDI in this sector mainly came from Russia, Japan, and South Korea. Notably, the central province of Khánh Hòa received two FDI tourism projects, namely the $300 million Alma and $89 million Flowers. According to Robert McIntosh, Executive Director of CBRE Hotels Asia Pacific, huge investment in the hotel and tourism sector in Vietnam meant that investment opportunities in the country were quite attractive. However, although Vietnam has long and beautiful coastline, it has not used the most of its disadvantage to develop tourism, experts say. Bitexco Group has proposed a plan to the Quảng Ninh People's Committee to manage tourism activities in the Ha Long Bay and Bãi Tử Long Bay for 50 years. According to the group, the two bays have precious geological and tourism potential. However, these have not yet been effectively explored. The group mentioned that disconnected transport, poor accommodation, and pollution are among the difficulties that are slowing development in the bays. With the aim to make the base among the most attractive tourist destinations in East Asia with international standards, the group is looking to manage the base for the next 50 years. According to Bitexco representatives, the next negotiations with Guangning authorities are expected in August. Those are the highlights in the economic scene for the past week. Up next, we'll talk about the VFM VN30, Vietnam's first exchange-traded fund, in our crosstalk. Earlier this July, there was an event that received great attention from stock market investors and financial sector as a whole. That is the IPO of Vietnam's very first exchange-traded fund, or ETF, namely the VFM VN30. So what is an ETF and how will the fund benefit investors? And why does the Vietnamese stock market need such a fund? We will find out the answers to these questions with this week's guest, Mr. Phạm Khánh Linh, Deputy CEO of Viet Fund Management, the firm that listed this ETF. Before we get to talk, let's take a look at our following clip.
The first ETFs in the global stock market were created in 1993 on the New York Stock Exchange. Asia followed in 1999 with its first ETF, and last but not least was Europe's first ETF launched in 2001. Since then, ETFs have continued to grow in popularities and gather assets at a rapid pace. In late 2010, the global ETF industries hit an inevitable milestone of $1 trillion. Despite the market tumbled in this period, there are now 5,217 ETFs operating globally with total capitals of $2.6 trillion as of June 2014. In 2013, investment flows into ETFs were significantly higher than that of any other types of investment funds, according to statistics from Bloomberg. The Vietnamese stock market is moving in line with this trend and will introduce its first ETF within the year. On July the 9th, Viet Fund Management, or VFM, held an event in which it received approval from the State Securities Commissions for managing the issuance and handling the operations of the first ETF on the Vietnamese stock market, the VFM VN30. The initial public offering or IPO process started on July 21st and is expected to last until August the 14th with an anticipated capitals of $20 million. VFM is looking forward to list the funds on the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange and start trading publicly in September.
Mr. Phạm Khánh Linh, thank you very much for agreeing to our interview.
Okay, thank you very much for your invitation today. Yeah.
First of all, in the simplest way, how do you define ETF?
I think the simplest way to understanding by ETF, I think, is by the name, Exchange Trade Fund. Exchange means that with a normal fund, you will use the money to buy any stock or unit of the fund. But with Exchange Trade Fund, you can use the stock to be exchanged with the fund. And then when you redeem it means that we want to take it back. You can take it back by stock. And the second word is a trade. It means the trading. Like another, the fund, like open-ended fund, they will only can trade on the primary market. It means that the investor must be to go to the fund management company to buy it. But with the ETF, they not only in the primary market, but they can trading in the secondary market. It means that it listed is like very simply for the people to buy the stock. It's like another stock on the floor now. And the last word is a fund. Okay, so it's a fund, but it focusing into the index. And then we use a VN30 for the index for these products. And then as you know that VN30 is already controlling and then selected by the professional people in the wholesale Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange. It means that this is only the quality stock. Simply to say that this is the newest vehicle for the investor can be trading into the Vietnamese market through the best quality stock.
VFM VN30 is based on the performance of VN30 index. Why is this index chosen?
Firstly, must say that we are not so much index to be followed. Now we have only VN30 in Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, and then we have HNX in Hanoi Stock Exchange. We choose VN30 to be followed or to replicate because they have represented nearly 60% of the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange. And then most of the company on this list is a big and then very stable company. And then during the last few years, when we tracking to see this index that normally it outperform with the average of the market. So I think this is a good quality and then good starting step for the ETF. And we choose the physically replicate. It means that we will follow 100% with this index for the first ETF, VFM-VN30. It will be listed on the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange. This means that the people can very easily do trading there when it's listed.
So what is the role that the VFM-VN30 is going to play in Vietnam stock market?
I think ETF is the very new product, not only in Vietnam, even in the world. It just appeared in North America in around the year 1993. Something is been quite new. And then when it comes into Vietnam, now already some foreigner ETF. You have seen that the market factor or Deutsche ETF there, they coming in Vietnam only 5 years, but now they're increasing 5 times. A lot of money from foreigner already coming into the market through the ETF. So I think that with the Vietnamese local ETF, it will be help the Vietnamese investor can be play in the same level with the foreigner and then can touching with the new technology of the financing industry. So I think this is one of the most important role of the ETF with the market. And liquidity, of course, you see that now ETF with their way for trading, they trading very fast. And then even the money of people to putting in very fast. And then, of course, when it redeem or withdraw is very fast too. Is where we make the liquidity of the market is a more mobilization like than before.
Yeah. So more liquidity in the market. So how does the fund benefit authorized participants or AP investors and brokers?
ETF is one of the very special products because it's not only the products of the fund management company, but this is the products of all of the members to joining in. AP, authorized participant, the broker, even wholesale, because wholesale they create Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, they create the index, and then they will be benefit from this too. But mostly I'm thinking that the investor will be the people to most benefit. And you've seen that the people can immediately buy the best stock. No need to be research, no need to do anything because already have the professional people to do it. And then when they want to trade it, even they can trade it on the floor very easy, very fast. And then even if they have the big lot, they can do it directly with the fund management company. In this case, that they don't have any discount for the fund. And with the AP normally they are a security company. Of course, if the investor is interested in this product, a lot of people will be trading. And then the trading will be have more cycle than normal. In this case, that will be benefit for the security company or broker firm because they had increasing their market share there. Yeah.
6 years ago, foreign investors created 2 ETFs based on Vietnamese stock indices, namely the Market Vectors Vietnam or VNM, listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and the X-Tracker Financial Times or XVTD, listed on the London, Singapore, and Hong Kong stock exchanges. For the past 6 years, these 2 funds have increased in capital by 5 to 6 times, distributing great capital gains to their investors across the foreign stock market. However, domestic investors have yet had the opportunities to participate in this type of trading. Thus, with the new ETF arriving in the Vietnamese stock market, domestic investors should take the full advantage of utilizing this effective investment tool.
Tương tự như khi chúng ta đầu tư ở một sổ cổ phiếu, trong trường hợp của VN30 trong thời gian tới thì có thể hàm ý là khi chúng ta mua một chứng chỉ quỹ của VFM bám theo chỉ số VN30 thì tương ứng với chúng ta sẽ mua một cái cấu thành gồm 30 cổ phiếu riêng lẻ trong danh mục VN30 thì cái mục tiêu giá trị đa dạng hóa danh mục đầu tư sẽ được thực hiện rất tốt cho các nhà đầu tư cá nhân.
According to experts, the VN30 is an index with 30 stocks professionally selected to monitor the trend of stocks performance in Vietnamese market. A share of the VFN VN30 will allow investors, especially non-experts and short-term investors, to invest in the most reliable and diversified basket of stocks on the market.
Thì việc đầu tư vào một ETF mô phỏng một chỉ số VN30, một chỉ số được xem như là một chỉ số khá là chất lượng, thì như vậy thì việc tham gia vào đầu tư một cái rổ chỉ số thì nó sẽ làm cho nhà đầu tư tiết kiệm đi rất nhiều thời gian, và nó tạo ra một cái kỳ vọng, nói nôm na rằng là khi mà nhà đầu tư vào một chỉ số ETF VN30 thì người ta đầu tư vào một cái nền tăng trưởng của một nền kinh tế như Việt Nam hiện nay.
In addition, operational fees for ETFs cost only about 1% to 1.5% per year, as management of these funds is based on passive physical replication. Other funds can cost around 2% to 5%, regardless of additional returns. Domestic investors will soon find more advantages as they learn more about investing in this type of fund.
According to analysts, there is not much room left for foreign investors in Vietnamese stock market. Therefore, ETF can be an effective tool to attract foreign capital. What's your take on this?
Yes, this is, we can say that it is a side effect of ETF because it only happened in Vietnam. In Vietnam, as you know, that we have the limited room for foreigner. Until now, through the 30 stock on VN30, already have a 6 full room. And then 3 of them nearly full. It means that we can say that 9 stock already full room. The foreigner cannot to be buying there. But with ETF, when they buy ETF, indirectly they're already investing in there. So I think this is one of the advantage of the ETF with the foreign investor. And of course, because of this advantage, will be attractive more foreigner capital into the ETF or into the Vietnamese stock market.
Now let's get back to the time before the VFN VN30 was launched. Tell us about the preparation to launch this fund.
I'm thinking that this is new. We must learn a lot and face with a lot of difficulties. But because it is, we have the help of a lot of people around the member, even from the government, the regulator, to all of this. And very happy that we already finished it with a very short time. On July, we'll have license for IPO, and we hope that we will closing it in the end of August, and immediately we will list it on around September. And then when it's listed, it will be trading freely in the stock market. It's like another stock.
What kind of collaboration and support was required to launch the fund?
Oh yes, because this is a new product, we need the help from all people, member of the market, and really happy that we have it. With the State Security Commission, they are already very fast to issue the new legal frame for us to create something like ETF. With Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, they are already very active in building the index VN30 years ago. Based on this, this is one with really the needed thing for VFM to create the new product like ETF. And of course, we have help from AP, from VSD, and all of the another member to be supporting it. Yeah.
Since the fund is relatively new to the market, it's also new to investors and brokers as well. Tell us about the efforts to spread the word about this fund.
Again, I think that it's new, and we need the help of a lot of people. With only VFM, we cannot do anything. But from the beginning until now, we're already preparing a lot of training. Firstly, we're focusing into the broker because this is the people who will help us to be spread out this concept to the investor. And like this week, I'm in Hanoi too. We do the training for security company. And I think after they listed, we will be cooperation with the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange, with the security company, to have a lot of training to help the people to understanding about the ETF. You know that when we are preparing it, we think that it's new.
Okay.
And it took time for the people to understanding about this. So we only plan that we will be launching it. And then during the practice, the people will be more attractive for this. And as you've seen that up to around 4 or 5 years, the market is a little bit, can say that it's very frozen. So we're afraid that the investor will not to interested in these kind of product. But when we're launching it, we receive a lot of questions on, and then when we do the training, like I already talked with you, that a lot of people come.
How many?
I think that, for example, in Ho Chi Minh City, we're preparing to have 8 courses for broker only in Ho Chi Minh City's stock exchange. But even we must extend it to 10. And then we're preparing only one time is around 50 people because the room is not so much big. But normally they're coming around 70 or 80 people. So
there's very high demand for training in this.
Yeah, I think
fund.
at least they want to know about this. And then, of course, when they're understanding, when they know it clearly, they will invest later. We're not thinking that we will immediately have the effect of the money to come in, but I think they're very happy that at least they want to know about this. Yeah.
So is there any difficulties during the time it took to launch the fund?
I think have a lot of things we must to be clear, because you've seen that it's quite new. And then when we do it in practice, we will face with another thing. For example, now with the margin, as you know that with with the other stock, they can do the margin it, and then it will be helped to be more attractive for investor. But now with ETF, it took time for this. It must be waiting for around 6 months after they listed. And then a lot of another small thing. But I think that with the help of other members like AP, like even like LSC, Jose, and then BSD, I think that we can pass through of this. And then when you do the thing news, we will face with it. I think it's normal. Yeah.
So has there been any difficulties in terms of technology and infrastructure when it comes to launching the fund?
Yes. I think it will help because in the I think that for the first month, we do the primary trading every week. And then we will try to increasing after the second month is every twice a week. And then we'll be daily on the third month. Why we have this plan? Because we want to get all people to get used with this and then testing the system. But when it's trading daily, I thinking that the system, the more technologies like IT, all the thing must be go along with this. And then I think it will be took time too for all of the member, not only in fund management company, but AP, VSD, and all of the clearance settlement will be go along with this. But I think we must to starting it and then we be improving it. We cannot to be improving it immediately without experience or practice. Yeah.
You said that a lot of people were interested in investing in this fund. So what is your expectation of the fund?
Yeah. The charter capital require 50 billion. Until now, we already have the confirmation that more than 100 billion. But I hope that after years, when the people to getting used with this, and then it will be increasing very fast. Because you've seen that for an ETF, foreign ETF, when they invest in Vietnam, only 5 years, they're increasing 5 times. So I think with our ETF, we hope that we will short term we will reach 500 billion Vietnamese dong. I think this is our target. Yeah.
So what will be your strategies to attract that amount of money?
I'm thinking that now the first and most important thing is how the education, to training with the people. When they're understanding about this, about the ETF, about the advantage of this, they are with the people to make their own decision to invest in. And I believe in that with the advantage of the ETF, with the very potential uptrend of the Vietnamese market, I think that will be attractive the investor into this fund, not only this fund, but even for the Vietnamese stock market too. So
what's the timeline for VFM 30 after IPO?
As you've seen, we already announced that the IPO time will be from 21st of July until the 15th of August. And then now we try to be extend 5 more days because to help the people to more time to create the basket to be changing into ETF. So we will be close the IPO around the 20th of August. Immediately after that, we will do the process for listed, and we're hoping that it will list it around the middle or the end of September. And after that, it will trading freely on the stock market.
So what is your expectation of VFMVN 30 after, say, 1 year and 5 years?
I think that for the first 1 year, we hope that it will be more attractive with the people, and then they try to understanding about this. And after around 2 or 3 years, we will reach our target about 500 billion. And of course, if the market is growing up, and then the people, they understanding more about this, it will make their own decision. And maybe it will be blooming up, nobody knows. And we hope that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us today.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Amid a bounce back in Vietnam's stock market since 2012 as the economy recovered from high inflation, currency depreciation and bad debt, ETFs are seen as beneficial to investors within a portfolio as they offer diversification and low cost. And the Vietnam offering is positioned to attract investors looking to capitalize on the country's commercial industry. And that wraps up our Bizline this week. Thank you very much for being with us. You can always watch us online at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. And from our team here in Hanoi, until next time.